Welcome to yoga class, and if you're a returning student, welcome back. It's lovely to see you again. All right, whenever you're ready, join me on your mat in a tabletop position. Grip your fingers against the ground, wiggle your spine out gently before we all start cat-cow. Exhale and press your body into a cat position, hunching your shoulders. Inhale and roll your spine into cow. Continue this with your breath a few more times. Tuck your toes under, grip with your fingers, and press your body back and then up into down dog position. Adjust your feet however you like for your preferred down dog. Bend your knees slightly towards your chest and then walk your hands slowly towards the back of the mat to meet your feet. Place the backs of your hands against your mat and then one foot at a time, inch your hands underneath your feet for gorilla pose. Keep your knees as bent as you need, as straight as you need, and lift your hips up into the air. Remove your hands from underneath your feet. Flatten your back, place your hands on your shins, and straighten and elongate your spine. Rise your hands up and straighten your spine one vertebrae at a time. Exhale, place your hands by your sides. Inhale, rise your hands up. Exhale, fold forward, pressing your hands firmly into the ground, moving your weight forward into your hands so you can slowly tiptoe to the front of your mat. Bend your knees generously and then inhale into chair position. Rise your hands up and notice if you're leaning on one foot more or if you're leaning into your toes or heels more. Unshrug your shoulders and interweave your fingers, pressing the wall away from you. With the palms of your hands pressing the wall away from you, lean your chest down so that you have a straight line from your hands to your hips, compressing your abdomen with the tops of your thighs. Grab a block and place it directly behind your feet. Place your hands on the ground directly in front of your feet. Position your feet hip distance, 45-degree angles, and sit down into a low squat or malasana. Open your legs using your glutes and your core and all of your leg muscles. Press your heels firmly into the ground. Elongate your spine. Shift your weight forward. Place your hands and then make your way into tabletop position and place the block off to a side. Position your hands so that they are directly underneath your shoulders and your knees are directly underneath your hips. With a straight, flat back, move and shift your weight into your shoulders and hands or your hips and knees. When you're comfortable, look out and bend your elbows towards the back of your mat. Slither down on your tummy and then place your hands underneath your shoulder blades. Use your shoulders to pull yourself upwards and levitate your hands underneath your shoulders, arching your back but tucking your tailbone. Elongate your spine by tucking and protecting your tailbone. Lower yourself down, place your hands, and then shoot yourself back up into down dog. Stay here for just a short while in your preferred down dog. Look to where you want to place your foot, then place and scoot your right foot up into Warrior One position. Use a block and maybe your knee and definitely your core to pull yourself up into a standing Warrior One position. Your back foot should be 45-degree angle facing forward. Your front foot and front knee should be facing the front of your mat. Keep your hips facing the front of the mat. Extend your arms up towards the ceiling and notice if your ribs pop out or if you are hunched over looking at the ground. Engage your legs even more by digging them into the ground and pushing them away from each other. One more breath here, then shift your hips so they are facing the long side of your mat. Your back toes facing the long side of your mat, and your front leg facing the front side, keeping your knee open to the front of the mat. When you are ready, straighten your front right leg. Keep your hips parallel to the long side of your mat and your front right knee facing the front of your mat. Right arm reaches, then hinge at your hips so you are making a T sideways and facing the left side of your mat. Place your hand on a block or your shin or maybe the ground. Keep your gaze focused on one area to maintain your balance. Switch your hands, adjust your back foot to face forward, and then slowly rotate your right hand up to the top of the T position. That way you are now twisted and facing the right side of your mat. Twist your spine with every exhale. Keep your gaze focused in one direction to maintain your balance. When you're ready, slowly place your hand on the ground or your block. Bend your right front knee generously. Switch your back left foot to face the long side of your mat. Place your right hand on the inside of your right foot. Extend your left arm overhead in either into a T position or in a straight line with your left leg or maybe behind your back. Place your left hand next to your right. Switch your hips to face the front of the mat. Switch your back foot so that the ball of the toes are on the ground. Then lift yourself up into a crescent moon position with your hands over your head and generously bending both of your knees. Keep your gaze out and steady so that you can maintain your balance a little easier. Look to the inside of your right foot where you will be placing your hands. Place both or your left hand onto that position. Slowly rotate your chest to the right side so that you are facing and opening up in a twist towards the right. Reach your right arm overhead in a T behind your back or extending the line. Place both hands on the ground and then send yourself back into a tabletop position. Adjust your weight forward and back, then bend your elbows towards the back of your mat, lowering your chin towards the ground. Slither onto your tummy. Hover your hands underneath your shoulders as you pull your chest off of the ground by pinching your shoulder blades together. Keep your gaze out and your feet pressed firmly into the ground. Make sure that your tail is tucked. Gecko grip and place your hands on the ground below your shoulders. Push back into down dog position. Adjust all your weight to your left foot, then rise your right foot up into the air. Play in this position, bending or straightening keeping your hips parallel to the mat or opening up to the side. Replace your foot onto the ground and stay here for a few more breaths. Look in between your hands and get ready to step into Warrior One position. Scoot your foot or a one big hop into Warrior One. Use a block or maybe your knee and your core to rise up. Adjust your back foot so that it is 45-degree angles. Your foot in front should be facing the front of your mat. Your knee should be facing the front of your mat. Keep your hips square to the front of your mat as well. Rise your hands up, shrugging your shoulders away from your ears, making space between your arms and your ears. Dig your feet into the ground and then push your legs drastically away from each other, engaging all of your legs. Keep your front leg facing the front of your mat and then slide your back foot to face the long side of your mat, opening your hips to become parallel to the long side of your mat. Open your arms parallel to the long side of your mat, extending as much as you can through your fingertips, feeling energy coming up your legs and out your hands. Keep your front left leg facing forward as you straighten the knee on your front left leg, hips parallel to the long side of your mat, and extend your left arm forward until you hinge at the hips. Place your hand on a block or on your shin or on the ground. Open your chest further towards the left side. Keep your arms in a T position or maybe overhead or maybe behind your back, whatever feels comfortable for you today. Slowly let your gaze drift to your hand that is on the ground. Switch your hands so now your right hand is on the ground. Replace your hand in the air with your left hand. Open your chest slowly towards the left side. Let your arm and then your hand follow. Bend your front knee generously. Place your left hand on the inside of your left foot and switch so that your back right foot is now open towards the long side of your mat. Open your hips towards the long side of your mat. Extend your hand overhead or possibly behind your back, or maybe in a T position. Focus on your breath as you stay here for just a moment. Gaze down at the ground where you're going to place your hands for balance. Hop your back foot so the ball of your foot has all your weight and both feet are facing the front of your mat. Pull yourself into a crescent lunge position. Focus on your breath and balance as you extend your hands overhead, making sure there's room in between your arms and your ears. Adjust your gaze to the floor, to the inside of your left foot. Place your right hand to the inside of your left foot. Straighten your back leg, generously bend your left knee. Open your body towards the left side of your mat. Place your hand behind your back or overhead or maybe in a T position, whatever feels best for you today. Place both hands on the ground and then send yourself back into a tabletop position. Adjust your weight forward into your hands, then bend your elbows towards the back of your mat, gently placing your chin on the ground. Slither your body onto your stomach, for one last time. Hover your hands under your shoulders as you squeeze your shoulder blades together and lift your chest off of the ground. Keep your focus out at the wall in front of you. Press the tops of your feet and the tops of your legs down into the mat. Extend your spine by tucking your tail. Tuck your toes. Grip with your fingers and push back into a down dog position. Graciously bend or straighten your legs, whatever feels best. Place all of your weight onto your right foot, then extend your left foot into the sky. Play in this position, either bending or straightening your leg, or having your hips parallel to the ground or opening to the side. Stay here in down dog for a few breaths in whatever pose you like today. Look forward and then walk your feet so that you can place your knees in between your hands. Swoop your legs so they are out in front of you. We're going to roll back one vertebrae at a time onto our backs, preparing ourselves for Shavasana pose. Whenever you'd like, roll backwards, exhale, and settle into Shavasana. Bend your knees and place the soles of your feet against the ground. Whenever you're ready, tuck your knees closer to your chest and hug yourself and roll to your side. Open your eyes whenever you're ready and join me in a seated position. Thank you so much for joining me in yoga class today. I had a wonderful time and I look forward to seeing you again.